Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Popcorn and Coffee. I'm your host, Jesse. Over here's Jay.
Hey, how's it going?
Over there's Colin.
Howdy, howdy.
How we doing today?
I'm very good.
Okay, so
Such an awkward. I am very.
it sounded like it ended in a question mark.
Yeah. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Colin, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
We're trying to get this episode complete before you have another call to have to go somewhere.
Yeah. It's pretty much a race against an unknown clock that may not go off.
Correct. Kind of like nuclear war when you think about it.
I mean, it worked in World War II.
I'm not worried about it. Anyways, that being said, there was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was. So we said we were going to do the Tumbler giveaway.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we did the Tumbler giveaway. And
That's kind of a Tumbler when you think about it.
yeah. So what we did was we took all the comments on the giveaway video, put them in a random generator online, and the winning comment is it was comment your favorite movie. Your favorite movie winning comment was How to Train Your Dragon.
Ooh.
So, will the winner of How to Train Your Dragon please DM us on Instagram?
Yes.
And either at Popcorn and Coffee, at Colin BG Gursky, or at Jahaziel Good, and send us your address so that way we can send it out to you.
Yeah, let's do that. That'll work. Respond to whoever's Instagram you like the most.
Yes.
But no, that's cool. How to Train Your Dragon is probably the caveat to this whole giveaway was that we didn't say it up front. We had to agree with whether or not it was a good movie.
Oh, that's true.
And we do.
I do.
It's probably one of DreamWorks' best movies,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's a good movie.
It really is.
And
It
some
really,
of the
truly
series
is.
that it sparked off, there was a Netflix series that came out. I think it was even better than a movie.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I always like, and I think I've seen all of them. There's what, 3 of those movies?
Yeah.
They're all very good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, man, it's not like the Shrek sequels,
No.
which are middling at best.
Ants.
Is that DreamWorks?
Yeah.
Huh. What else is DreamWorks? I don't know.
I don't know. Spirit.
Is Over the Hedge?
Over the Hedge is DreamWorks. That was
Is
a good
it?
one. That's a funny one. Bruce Willis. Oh.
I was talking to your brother, Colin, because we always, growing up, especially after Over the Hedge came out, the line, and you know what I'm talking about, the line was always, either watching Dr. Phil on the TV, is like, if you feel like a dirtbag, then just own it, just say it out loud, I'm a dirtbag, and then Bruce Willis is like, I am a dirtbag. But what's funny is, and I always forgot, so the main character who does feel like a dirtbag in the scene says it, I'm a dirtbag, and then the possum behind him goes, who's watching the TV goes, dirtbag? I don't think this guy's a real doctor. Talking about Dr. Phil. So funny. The kids were watching. I was cracking up.
Madagascar's DreamWorks.
Okay, so they've got a lot of hits.
DreamWorks is, yeah. I love Madagascar. That might be my favorite series that they have, trilogy. But
I don't really remember the sequels, but the first one was fun.
Yes, I didn't even realize it had a trilogy.
yeah, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was just the one in the sequel, and that was it.
And then you had the Penguins stuff.
The Penguins were very popular.
Yeah.
Still are.
Listen, though, if you want to see more of the agree to disagree stuff, which I think did really well, you leave it in the comments. You got to tell us. You go like those videos, guys. Anybody who's watching these, like the videos that you really, really enjoy watching, so we can put out more content that's like that. If you want to see more of that, like that video.
Yeah.
You want to jump into this week?
Yeah, let's.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Nope.
We had a passing. Well, I guess when that came out, but when this episode releases, it'll be 2 weeks. But Clarence Gilard.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot to put that in the notes.
Passed
Die Hard.
away. Die Hard.
Yeah.
The Left Behind.
We're about to release here soon commentary stuff on Die Hard.
Yeah.
What did you say? The Left Behind.
He was in the.
I was going to bring that up because as much as I disagree theologically with the Left Behind series and some of the stuff that it talks about, I think it's especially the first one is a very well-made movie for the time that it came out. For the time
it was, the first one,
And the one scene that I remember the most, and is my favorite scene of the whole show, is the scene with Clarence Gilard.
Oh, when he's in church.
When he's in the church, and so obviously the rapture happens, and then the world falls apart, and that's the theology that movie's kind of based on. But he's a pastor who doesn't get taken.
Oh, okay.
So there's a really intense scene where he's standing in the church and he's like just screaming at God, like, why am I, I did all this stuff for you. And it's a really compelling scene. Again, as much as I disagree with some of the theology behind the movie.
Probably because he wasn't really a Christian. He wasn't a true believer.
Well, obviously that's
why he wasn't taken.
But he thought he was. Like,
right, yeah. Yeah.
That's the drama behind it all.
Yeah.
Also had the Green Power Ranger.
Oh, yeah, the Green Power Ranger died.
Passed away.
That he did.
Did he commit suicide?
I have no details. I don't even know his name.
I just
saw Green Power Ranger.
I don't remember. I never was into the Power Rangers, so I don't know.
I can't recall maybe ever watching the show or
wasn't allowed to
anything like that.
Yeah, we had a lot of trailers drop. Mm-hmm. Man, these holidays make me feel like I'm all sorts of like jet lagged. Honestly, trailers drop.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of them?
I did.
Did you watch Indiana Jones?
Yes.
Okay. Hardcore Indiana Jones fan.
I love Indiana Jones.
I would say I'm a step down from that.
Yeah.
I enjoy them. I think they were fun movies. I'm talking about the originals, not Crystal Skull.
Yeah, not Crystal Skull. Get that out of here.
Where are you at with the Indiana Jones movies?
Kind of middle of the road. Like I watched more of the older ones. I don't. Like what came out after Crystal?
Nothing.
No, that was
the last one. And we went to theater and saw
I was
that.
gonna say that's how long ago that one was.
Like our moms drove us to the theater to watch it because
terrible movie.
Oh yeah, that one was garbage. The original ones, they're fine.
Yeah.
What did you think of this trailer?
It looks trashy. The CGI in it looks terrible.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I do. I was watching it going, this looks like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah. Yep.
That being said, there's a little bit of it that's they de-age him because it goes into the past and redoes some of the stuff from like the 60s. Mm-hmm. And even Harrison Ford, who's kind of disgruntled about life in general, he's come out and said the de-aging technology they use in this is some of the best he's ever seen. So that's kind of high praise. But I would agree with you. All this CGI, why aren't you doing any of this practical? And I get it, he can't because he's 80.
Right.
But that's so glaring, it's like distracting.
The trailer did look bad, and maybe it's not going to be that bad in the movie. I think it will be. Even the de-aging, though, that they showed in the trailer didn't look good.
It didn't look any better than some of the other stuff.
No, well, like the de-aging with the Irishman that they did on Joe Pesci and all those guys, it looked really good. Like I thought that it did look decent and stuff.
Yeah.
This didn't look like that.
And maybe it's the trailer, but I would agree with you. To me, I'm like, should it just have ended with those three movies and not revisited this universe? Because if it's not just him hanging onto the edge of a tank or, there's some iconic scenes in those movies where I'm like, it just looks really, really good. And there's something grounded about it. But when he's hanging off a car and you can tell the background is just completely fake.
Yeah.
Takes away from the movie.
Just reboot the series if you want to redo it, which they don't need to, but get somebody else to play Indiana Jones.
And do it practical.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the title Dial of Destiny?
It's too trippy.
It's bad.
It's too trippy.
Sounds stupid.
It really does.
I mean, it's almost like he's looking for it. The trailer looked like he was looking for the Fountain of Youth. Is what I gathered from
Hasn't he done that already?
No.
Oh.
No. He looked for the Ark, which was
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Good title.
Yeah. The second one was the Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Which that's probably my least favorite of all the
Temple of Doom is an okay title.
Yeah. Third one was The Last Crusade.
Good title.
Good title. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Terrible title.
Terrible title.
And maybe that's why I'm so upset about Dial of Destiny. Like, are they really looking for some sort of Dial of Destiny? Because Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was a legitimate crystal alien skull that they were looking for. Yeah. So if it's very like specific, I think that's dumb.
Yeah.
But if it's just conceptual and not like, I have found the Dial of Destiny, I think that's stupid, personally.
It's just going to be like an egg timer.
It's just the dusty old sand dial that he used.
Yes.
Play in the sand, those little like a half shell.
Yeah.
It's some old-timey phone. Yeah. It's just
a rotary phone.
Just an old one of the originals.
Oh, you have to dial your destiny. I get it now.
Ring up your destiny. Yeah. Who is it? It's Red Skull. It's what did he have? He had the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Did you watch that?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Do not look like it. Does not look good.
I
It
agree
looks
with you.
trash.
I was so upset. Did you watch it?
No, it's bad though.
It looks bad.
It doesn't look bad. It just looks irrelevant.
Oh,
To me, it looks like the last
uninspired,
two.
Just another one.
Yeah.
The story looks bad. Not
It just
obviously
looks boring.
visually it looks
yeah,
good.
It just looks boring.
Yeah.
And visually, yeah, it just looks the same as the other two. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you get the scene where it's like there's a man reaching his hand into a cage and it's a baby raccoon. So it's implying that it's baby Rocket, you know? And then that morphs into a face of the old Rocket. And it's just like, okay, you're tugging on heartstrings there. I get that. But it's like, what is this? What is the point of this? And did we need it? Because you could borderline argue we didn't need the last one. Ego.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fine movie,
Yeah.
but ultimately irrelevant and not interesting. That first one was incredible.
Honestly, I'm kind of tired. The characters are kind of boring. There's not Drax is just some big
Doing the
Dummy.
same thing.
Yeah, Drax, he's not enough to build on.
No.
None of them really have depth enough to carry interesting 3 movies.
Peter had an arc, but that arc has been completed after Endgame. So
Yeah. I would argue after the Christmas special it was completed. But
we can talk about that at the end. So I would agree. I watched and I was just like, okay, when it comes out, I will watch it.
yeah.
But I wasn't hyped about it by any means.
No.
There was just nothing new about it.
There was one cool scene in the trailer, and it was like the end of the trailer, and Peter and Groot are like back to back, and Groot's got like 6 arms holding guns, just firing.
yeah.
It looked pretty cool. But yeah, no, story
They just keep rehashing the same stuff. Like there was one line where they're like, we're all running away from our destiny or whatever. And then it cuts to Rocket and he's like, I'm tired of running.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's what you guys did in the last movie. Like that's what all of your movies are.
Yeah, it's pretty much their plot.
Yeah. So it's either do something different or stop.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you. We're on point tonight though.
Yeah, weird.
That's interesting. Did you watch the Transformers Rise of the Beast?
I did.
trailer? Did you?
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
That looks exciting. I'm not even joking. I
showed
watched,
Vera.
when that gorilla came out, I was like, oh my gosh, this
Did
is so
you watch
cool.
Bumblebee?
I didn't watch. No.
Because it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
And so it retcons pretty much the other movies. I don't think they ever say like those others don't exist, but they're just kind of hoping that you pretend they don't exist. The Michael Bay ones, for the most part. You know? So Bumblebee comes out and it's pretty much changing everything from there and being like, okay, we're going this direction now. The Transformers are a lot blockier, a little bit more cartoonish, which I think works great. Makes them look more like the old cartoon and the old toys. And then now in this one, they tried animals before. They tried dinosaurs before. And everyone's like, this is really cool. And then they did nothing with it. There's a gorilla robot in this. There's a rhinoceros. There's a cheetah. And it transforms into a robot. Like,
Yeah.
it looks legit.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Watch Bumblebee because you'll enjoy it. I know you will.
Yeah, of those 3 trailers, this was not the one I'd expect the most.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for it. I really am. And Optimus is there doing his thing. It could turn out to be boring or it could flop as well. Sure.
But out of the 3 trailers, it
Out of
does look
those
like-
3. Moving on to the next one.
I did not watch the Mario trailer.
I did. It looked whatever.
I think I would be a little more excited for it if it wasn't all just animated.
Oh, really? You want a live action?
I almost want like a live action Mario, yeah. Or do it like the Sonic movie where they bring in
blend.
Yeah.
It feels very Wreck-It Ralph to me. And I'm personally not a fan of Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, see, I like Wreck-It Ralph. I think.
But even if I were, I feel like it'd be too samey for that. So I'm just like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll turn out to be really good and everybody will like it. It's fine. It's fine. And maybe you're right, though. Maybe more in the vein of like a Pixels.
Yeah. Something like that. That would be. Yeah.
I really enjoy Pixels. I think that's a funny movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, bringing Mario into the real world, I think would be funny. They released a trailer for the Grinch horror movie.
Which I didn't even know was a thing. So yeah.
There's so many of those now.
They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot.
Who's playing the Grinch?
Anything you can think of, they've got it. I saw one for Bambi. It's supposed to come out.
Yep. Is that just going to be a guy in a mask again?
If they're all the same premise as Blood and Honey, I will not watch any.
Listen,
You're not gonna watch Blood and Honey?
If it's just that one again and again.
Oh, okay.
which is so funny.
I'll
'cause
watch the first one.
Blood and Honey
They're
has
all the
been
same.
Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah, I'll be okay to be fooled one time.
Blood and Honey has been super misleading for a lot of people though, because I've heard just at work, 3 different guys have come up to me and been like, "Hey, have you heard about this Winnie the Pooh horror movie coming out?" Obviously, we've known about it for a long time, back when it was like a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah," and they'll be like, so I start to explain it to them. They're like, "That's not what I thought it was at all." Because I said, "Yeah, it's pretty much just like 2 guys in creepy looking masks going around killing people," and they're like, "Oh, I thought it was a cartoon, or I thought it was this, or I thought it was that." And I'm like, "No, not at all."
Yeah, they're going to have to overcome their marketing on that.
Yeah.
And if it's just going to be this B tier, like they're just going around killing people,
You think it's gonna be like a straight to streaming probably?
Oh,
I thought they already secured theater distribution.
that
really?
one may have a small theater, but I guarantee you none of the other ones will.
And it was multi-country.
Because as soon as it flops, and it's going
It's
to,
going to bomb. Yeah.
none of the other ones are going to work. I guarantee you the Bambi one doesn't even happen.
Yeah, if it's the most recent of those announced.
Yeah.
Because you've got what? Bambi, Grinch. There was another one.
The Blood and Honey people are talking about doing Peter Pan after that.
That was.
And then a Thor one.
And Thor.
No.
So,
Nobody's asking for this.
like 6 that could potentially be in that same vein.
Yeah.
And it all just kind of looks like a knockoff of Strangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it could. Hey, they could hit the nail on the head. It could be great, and they could be like the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
I don't think it'll be that,
Pride
though.
and Prejudice zombies.
I don't think it'll be that.
Could just, I mean, if the first one does well enough, because it's obviously low budget.
Well, yeah.
So they don't have a high bar to make money.
It's very true.
If it's like Paranormal Activity, because there's 10 of those movies. Nobody cared about them after the second.
How many Final Destinations are there?
I think there were at least 5 or 6, but those all got theater releases.
Did they really?
Those had big budgets too.
And those are high budget
studios behind them.
movies.
If these do well, death of cinema.
You've lost all faith in the cinema if they do well.
Actually, I'm not even offended by it. It's just like, surely
Easy Scorsese.
I'm taking this piece and I'm taking this piece and I'm like, surely this isn't going to work. But they're going to get that cult following. That's even he's come out and retracted his statements now, though. Scorsese did. Because he insulted
Kevin Feige. Or Kevin.
No, he got Samuel L. Jackson.
Liu. I can't remember what his name is. The guy who did Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Because he came out against Scorsese and he's like, shut your mouth. Like 20 years ago, an Asian guy wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah.
And then Scorsese's like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Was he the one that was saying everybody's just like a puppet of the...
Yeah.
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 Because Samuel L. Jackson was coming out against that and saying, no, Chadwick Boseman, or not Chadwick Boseman. It was, who's the Chadwick? Is that the right name? I'm thinking, I don't know why I have that name in my head for...
Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther.
That is Black Panther.
Yeah.
I was getting mixed up with a different Phil Boseman. That's a singer. It's like, why is Boseman not sound right? It's because
Chadwick Boseman, yeah.
He was coming out against him saying he made Black Panther what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why people care about it.
It's a huge slap in the face.
It was a puppet thing, and he's just a puppet of the system.
Yeah.
It's a huge slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you got people like Robert Downey Jr. is a big one, and then Samuel L. Jackson, who are actual movie stars in these movies, that are just like, all of you shut your mouth. Like, you're just mad. And that's Robert Downey Jr.'s defense. He's like, you're just mad that our movie made $1 billion. Like, shut up, Scorsese, who everybody respects. And I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. does too. But he's just like, you're just mad that ours made more money than yours.
Right.
And he's right.
Yeah, they definitely make a lot more.
So, yeah, The Grinch is like a parody. And I don't know who's playing The Grinch, but it really looks like Jim Carrey's Grinch, just with like blood coming out of his mouth and stuff. And the town's called Newville. So not Whoville, but Newville. And it's like real people. And then the Grinch goes in and just starts killing people over Christmas, which at least makes sense. Thematically, that's the only one that's like, okay, he's so mad that people love Christmas. Instead of stealing all their presents, he's just going to start killing them all.
Yeah, you could twist that arc and then like go with the in-between time of when he started his villain arc to being converted.
Yeah.
He's just in the dark place in this one.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Who's playing Cindy New Who?
Luhu?
Nuhu.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Newville. Good job. Good. Clever. I have no idea.
Is that a copyright thing? They can't use those specific terms?
It very well may be.
Because that would be funny.
It's also just funny if they did it on purpose.
Grinch, but they can't use any of the names other than Grinch.
I wonder if he's not even called the Grinch.
That might be.
He's probably like the Babadook or...
Babadook?
Yeah. You know
They just call him
is?
the Grinch.
Isn't it? I thought it was pronounced Babadook.
Oh, sure.
I think it just depends on where you're from.
Okay. Justin or Knox.
Or what's the other one?
South
What's
of
the
the
one
river, north.
they call John Wick? What do they call him?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga, that's what it is. They're all just like those mystical.
That's, I think, Russian boogeyman.
Yeah, something like that. So,
We do have some exciting news, though.
what's that?
Strange World. Giant flop.
Yeah. Did you expect anything other?
No.
Gosh.
The only way I heard about this movie was because it flopped.
Because it flopped. It
I
flopped big
didn't
time.
see it was coming out. Didn't see a single trailer or advertisement. I just saw giant flop.
Yes. And let's be clear, like, it had bad marketing.
Probably, yeah.
On top of the fact that the story seems legit boring.
Yeah.
It really had bad marketing. I saw a few trailers and I was like, what is this about? Like, you couldn't gather anything from the trailer about what the story was.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a waste.
From what I heard, it was an environmentalist thing.
Environmentalist and...
It was like global warming, and they have to stop the global warming, but the main character's gay, and they talk about it a lot.
Well, yeah, like it has the main character as a son who's into another boy in the movie. So it's a through line throughout the entire movie. Did you expect this movie to do well? And I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to Disney.
Yeah.
We're going to push all of our agendas in this one. And it's going to lose, I projected, $140 to $147 million. Disney, stop making this trash. And everybody can be like, oh, well, here's the right wingers just screaming about saying, yes, we are. And guess what? Proof is in the pudding. It doesn't work. We don't want it.
Yeah.
Even some of the left-leaning people don't want this.
Obviously.
People are
I would say
toxic.
a majority of the populace doesn't
Yeah,
want this if it's flopping that hard.
Just
Yeah.
tired of it. Just make a good movie.
Yeah, just be entertaining. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Like, even if you, and I'm not even above Disney being like, okay, well, we have these high concept things we want to put in our movies, you know, and Inside Out, where it's like, okay, this is a theme that's maybe way bigger than kids, but we want to make a movie. Not opposed to that literally at all. They've done a good job before. Finding Nemo, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's just like, okay, well, we have an agenda, but we don't have a movie. We're going to make this loose concept of a movie just to push an agenda. Okay, you're wasting your money.
And stylistically, it looks like just a watered down Wreck-It Ralph. Like they're all looking the same coming out of that studio.
It really is.
There's no stylistic differences to make them stand out. So then that makes sense. Like they probably have a handful of loosely done films that they're just trying to shove an agenda on.
Yeah.
And then they all look the same because they're all made around the same time.
I've read a couple articles of people like talking about how Disney's just trying to cater to their employees, which are largely left-leaning, you know, they're all the blue-haired liberals, you know, bisexual, whatevers. And they have such an echo chamber of people that work for them that they don't realize that's not what the real world looks like. You know, you have the 1% of individuals in this country who are screaming the loudest. I'll give them that. They are the ones screaming the loudest right now, are all of these, whatever you know, LGBT, all that group. But that's not what the country looks like, and it's definitely not what the rest of the world looks like.
Right.
These movies aren't even getting released in China. These movies aren't even because they're like, we don't even want it.
Yeah, they can't release them in the
They
Middle East.
can't.
They won't get put out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're wasting your time, Disney. With
People are tired of having agendas pushed down their throat, and especially aside from, I would even, if you wanted to make the argument, they can argue this movie flopped because of the homosexual kid in it, a gay kid. I would argue it flopped more because of the green earth push and stuff.
The environmentalism.
The environmentalist push. People are tired of hearing about it.
I think it's a combination of all of the things, you know, because number one, we don't want to see that stuff. Number two, you're not even putting it in a good movie. Like, it's one thing, and you and I have said it before, if you can make a really good movie and it's a compelling story with rich character development, even me as a conservative Christian, I can look at some of those other things and be like, okay, I can overlook the Greenpeace movement behind this movie because I like what the story's doing and I like the characters. I can overlook your gay characters in it sometimes if I think the movie's still good. But when you're not even giving us that and you're just giving us the agenda and you're trying to feed us this pill that you want us to believe, no, of course that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just no substance to the films.
Yeah.
Just empty agenda husks.
Yeah. Don't put Turning Red straight to Disney Plus and tell us that that's one of your most popular movies. It isn't. But whatever, Disney.
Well, I mean, that's why they fired their
Yeah,
president
it is,
and went
yeah.
back to their old president.
Proof is in the pudding.
Which,
right
I mean, the old president's not going to do anything different. He started everything back in 2020 with the woke stuff. So, but
I think he'll hopefully be at least a little less on the nose about it, because the other guy was just like, nah, it's about the agenda.
yeah,
At least with Iger, hopefully it's going to be more like, well, let's try to give them both.
let's try to make money, guys.
Try to make money. So, talking about trying to make money, Walking Dead finished.
Yes.
You used to be into the show.
I used to be huge into it. Like, I love the show.
So did we.
I probably stopped watching maybe season 5,
Yeah, somewhere around there.
4 or 5. And then I think I watched a little bit of 6, but just couldn't.
I think we went even further than that. I think we got up to like 8 or 9. I think you can watch up through season 10 on Netflix right now. Season 11 is the one that just wrapped and is the finale of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe that. Made it 11 seasons.
11 seasons.
11 seasons of Rick and... Well, I know he wasn't.
He wasn't
the
even
whole
on the
time.
last few.
Yeah, but it's just the same. It was the same thing every season. It was like, okay, we have to work together. No, I'm the captain now.
Yeah,
I'm going to kill everybody here, and my people are going to be safe.
constant power struggle. Who's this rival group? Eliminated group. Lose some people.
They struggled.
Add some people. Put
Yeah.
some wokeness in there. Wait, power struggle again? And then back
They
around.
struggled with storytelling for a lot of
Yeah.
years, for
Yeah.
real.
I think I only watched, 2 seasons?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe 3.
I think that first season, though, season 1, which is only 6 episodes,
Yeah.
is some of the best TV
Oh, yeah,
I think
it's
I've
really
ever
good.
seen. Those 6
Yeah.
episodes and the contained story that it tells, I think is phenomenal. And that's what
Yeah.
got me hooked on it the first time I seen it anyway.
Yeah,
Because that was the first time when I was like, wow, I didn't care about zombie stuff back then, but I watched that show and I was like, there's a real human drama behind a zombie storytelling, this post-apocalyptic genre. I think that was phenomenal.
yeah,
I just don't think that story can continue for an 11-year run,
right,
not as it could in the graphic novels. And sure, maybe that could go on for decades,
right.
But
You would think at some point they would kill all the zombies in the area, be able to get rid of them, and then start building society back up.
correct. That being said, they did introduce the element of like, even though we killed all the zombies, when you die, you still become a zombie because you carry the gene or whatever,
Yeah.
the virus. But even that you could create a fix for, you know what I mean? Or at least hey, we're going to put you in this box over here because you're about to die kind of thing. Whatever. It's over. That being said, it's gone, but not forgotten or dead, because the spin-offs.
That's the thing that I hate the most. It's like, it's bad enough that we had to have 11 seasons of this show,
Yeah.
but to have 3 spin-offs, 4 spin-offs,
Well, there's been, so Fear of the Walking Dead was one that came out
that's already been out.
That was the
Years
first
ago.
one, yeah.
years ago. And then there was another one that came out called The Walking Dead World Beyond, which came out 2 years ago, maybe.
Didn't even
And
know
it's
that
a
one came
different
out.
group in another place. Same story. Okay. Those have both been out. There's been a couple other like webisode things that have been out for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're getting 4 to 6 other spin-offs containing some of the characters that we already know. I didn't even list them all there, because there's another one with Negan that's supposed to be potentially
Really?
happening. And then 2 movies containing Rick and his side story. And then a Daryl and Carol spin-off.
There's just so much. I remember when they back when it was first started, the first couple seasons, and I was working at the library, and they had books come out. What's his name? The director, writer,
Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman.
There you go.
He wrote 3 novels about that were off of the governor, his character and stuff.
Just a side story.
Yeah, like it, like and stuff like that. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, we got him in the library. I was like, well, this is kind of cool. And I was like, why do we need all this?
Was it good though?
I didn't read it.
Oh,
But yeah, and that was like the first thing, and then everything else started coming out. It's like, I mean, good for Robert Kirkman. You're making a lot of money.
no doubt. And if people are gonna watch it, sure.
but
this is ultimately life imitating art, in as much as it's dying, but it's not gonna die.
Yeah. It's just like Yellowstone. There's like 15 different Yellowstones.
Yellowstone's
So
Why do we
too.
have to have 4 generations in the same storyline at the same time?
I don't.
Why is
know.
it all going on?
And there's definitely a thing to be said about, like, even all the trailers we talked about at the beginning are just continuations of stories that already exist. Creatively, the entertainment industry as a whole, movies, TV, are really struggling to come up with original content.
Yeah.
And they're always just piggybacking off something else. And that's definitely a problem.
Yeah.
It's definitely a problem.
Now, I will say, in defense of the Yellowstone, and probably just because I'm a huge fan of it,
It's at least not been out as long.
it's not. In the 1883, that was like, I don't know if they're doing a second season of that. So they did.
It was a one-off.
I think it might be a one-off, possibly.
Okay.
And
I don't hate that.
yeah,
But when you have like 7 and they all are going multi-season,
yeah.
that's a bit much. But yeah, if it's just a one-off, that's not too bad.
I mean, yeah, good or bad isn't really relevant to me in the discussion, because a lot of it's good.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on.
Yeah, I'm
whether
not
the
saying
material-
any of that
It's
stuff.
just
You'll-
that's
Right.
definitely
it's more of,
where,
is it necessary or not?
Why is it
Culturally,
so much?
Yeah.
So
culturally,
much
that's where
else.
we're at, and that's what sucks.
And they
Because
know.
who is it? It's Sheridan,
Yeah, Tyler Sheridan.
phenomenal writer, phenomenal producer. Go make something else.
And he has. He did the Mayor of Kingstown. He's doing that. He's got one
Which I've
with,
heard is decent.
It's not good. I watched
Oh,
it. I
never
watched
mind.
like the first few episodes, and it's.
I retract my statement. I've never seen it, and I claim it is good.
He's got another one that's coming out on Paramount too with so Stallone.
He was behind that too?
Yeah,
What's that called?
I can't remember what it's called, but so I don't know. I might check out the first couple episodes of that, see how it is.
heard
So
it was
far, what I've seen of his stuff is he's really good at writing westerns. He needs to stick to that.
Yeah.
But
And that's fine.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, there's so much content coming.
Yeah.
And I would argue, just as a whole, we have so many streaming services with all this content. It's like I can't keep up with all of it.
No, you can't.
And I really don't desire to keep up with all of it. That's why some stuff I'm like, I'm not going to watch that.
And it's really a detriment to the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
It really is. But moving on to the next thing, and putting all these notes together today, there's a through line here that's really phenomenal, and we can talk about it more later. But like, just from the trailers to the beginning to the stuff going on with Avatar to like just the continuation of just burying yourself in same old content,
Yeah.
But we're moving on to another segment I like to call Cameron's comments.
Oh, no.
Cameron's comments on Avatar 2, The Way of Water, and the audacity of this man blows my mind. Leading off the comment that you texted us about,
Yeah.
which and we could start there with just that, and he said it. This came from him. For Avatar 2 to break even, it has to be at least the third or fourth highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, it's got
To
crack
break
2
even.
billion. Has to
That's insane.
billion to break even.
Have ticket prices gone up any?
Not 2 billion. Of them.
Not that much. Okay, and in his defense, it has been it's got the green light to release in China.
What he should have done was got Taylor Swift to sell the tickets. That's an instant bill. Right?
That's
true.
an instant.
Instant,
You're
yeah.
crashing Fathom events and all these different places. But a lot of movies haven't been getting the green light to release in China lately. So the fact that he did, it's going to help him a lot. You're hitting a global market, not an American market at this point. So that's a pretty bold statement to make. Bold statement number 2. An interviewer asked him, it's a 3-hour movie. He wouldn't back down from Fox. Fox owned it. He said he had to get them to agree to it being a 3-hour movie. So all the content he wants in this movie, he had to get in the movie. Fox was then bought by Disney. And he said, no, those guys agreed that it was 3 hours. You have to agree that it's 3 hours. To Disney. Why are you talking to Disney like that?
Who does this guy think he is?
And so they okayed it.
Imagine if they didn't.
What would have happened?
No, we don't care about you.
But it's James Cameron. Like, nobody could say that.
They're not going to make money unless it's over $2 billion.
So
They're already losing 140 million. So
Yeah.
okay, let's double down on this. Okay, an interviewer asked him, "So James, it's a 3-hour movie. Is there a decent point in this entire movie? Is there a decent point for somebody to get up and use the restroom?" That's what they asked him in a 3-hour movie, and his comment was, "Anytime they want, they can see the scene they missed when they come to see it again." So not only he's doubling down on everyone's gonna go watch this movie, this 3-hour movie in theaters more than one time.
So it has to be at least as good as Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
The first time you go see it.
Correct.
yes.
To make you want to see it a second or third time.
In his defense.
What, you saw it 4 times in theater?
I saw Endgame 3 times.
3 times.
Yes. In his defense, for it to be at least the third or fourth highest scores, people have to see it more
You
than one
have to
time.
rewatch it, yeah.
There's a huge portion of those funds that are rewatch, people going back more than once. I did see Endgame 3 times. In my defense, I took different people every time.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I want you to watch it. I'm going to take you to go watch it. I want you to watch it. I'm going to take you to go watch it. I wasn't just going and sitting in the theater by myself.
No, that's just a testament to how good that movie
Right, and
was.
Which was
how
3
much-
hours.
How much led up to it being that
Yes.
good.
Was also, you can go sit through a 3-hour movie multiple times.
Because this almost has the same distance time-wise as the first Avengers, like first Marvel movie to Endgame,
Oh,
from when the first one
Yes.
of these came out.
it's like 10
They
years.
had, all of that built-in hype
Yeah.
for Avengers to be that big
Yes.
of a spectacle.
What are your thoughts?
This has literally nothing in between.
I think James Karen.
Karen? James Karen?
He's basically acting like a Karen.
is a
He's just an
Karen.
arrogant person. I don't know.
He really thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, he thinks he's the greatest director of all time because he made 1 hit. Oh wait, I'm sorry. 2, he did direct Titanic.
He's directed way more than that.
Anyways,
Just about everything he makes big money.
Yes. He directed Alien. He directed Terminator.
okay.
He directed...
Don't care.
Did you see his face? The highest grossing movies of all time he makes.
That's fine. That doesn't
Culturally relevant movies.
Yeah, he's still not. I wouldn't put him in the top 10 greatest directors to ever.
Top 10?
Top 10 is a bold statement.
Who are you?
I don't like James Cameron.
I don't like him as a person, but I think he's a good director.
I don't know. I don't like his movies either. I don't like Titanic. I've never seen Avatar, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't like it. So
If we did a checklist of how many movies of James Cameron's he's actually seen, it would probably be only Titanic.
yeah, you're probably right.
And he's saying he's a terrible director. I don't disagree
I
with
wouldn't put him in the top 10 greatest directors. Maybe we'll have to have a segment and we'll do top 10 greatest directors.
I mean, we could definitely make a draft board for ourselves, but I would definitely put him in the top 10. Would I put him in the top 5? Maybe not, but top 10?
Yeah, he probably cracks the top 10.
He would definitely crack the top 10. Moving on to the next quote. Because we're not done yet. So, not only did he want to make 2 of these, or 3, or 4, or 5, he has plans for a 6 and 7 Avatar sequels. Granted, in his defense, he admits that he probably won't be around or alive to make 6 and 7. He'd have to let someone else do it.
At the rate he's making them now, he'll probably be dead before 3.
That being said, he would have to personally train the next director to make 6 and 7. This guy's ego is through the roof.
He's going to groom somebody?
This guy's ego. He's the guy who, after he won an Academy Award for Titanic, he stood up and said, "I'm king of the world." Which is a line from the movie, but he said it.
I was going to say that I would give a pass because it's a line from his movie, and that movie won the award.
I'm just saying, you take this piece of information and this piece of information and put them all together, he's ego the living planet.
Well, plus he was able to go into the Mariana Trench and
It's very true.
survive. So he's just bulletproof.
He just needs
Nothing
to do
can
that.
stop him.
He is unsinkable.
He's the unsinkable ship, even though he made the Titanic movie.
He's saying, okay, now listen to this quote. And remember forever the night you played the Titans. But remember that we're only on Avatar 2 right now, okay?
Yeah.
And he says, hopefully he gets a chance to tell the whole story. Because 5, the whole story. So movie 5 is better than 4. And movie 4 is better than 3. This movie 3. He's such an idiot. Movie 3 is better than movie 2. The one that's about to come out. So you're saying all the prequels that don't exist yet are better than the movie that we are about to go watch.
And following his trend, 6 would then be better than 5. And 7 better than 6.
Because he's not directing it. So
Isn't that the
It's
dumbest?
still his story, though.
unless he finds a way to like
Because he's
clone
talking
himself.
about the whole story.
That's so funny to me, though.
So-
Why would you say that?
So the one that already came out is the worst one in the series. And we're getting the second worst one in the series.
Yes,
now.
we're working backwards from the worst to the best. And we have to wait decades to even get to that movie. The stupidest comment I've ever
Still
read.
dumb.
Is there like a island somewhere where he can clone? They have clones of him,
Yeah.
and then when his organs start to
Same
shut
island
down.
Bill Clinton used to go to.
No, and then when his organs shut down, he can just have.
In Ireland?
There's probably clones of him there.
I'm sure they got some kind of technology.
He's pretty
for
much
that.
Palpatine from Rise of Skywalker. Just clone babies of him everywhere. So dumb. So dumb. So, but the thing is, and the story there was always a story, and you won't care about this because you don't watch any of the movies, but there was always a story of he made Alien, which did really well.
Dismiss.
I'm sorry. He did Alien and it did really well. And so he went back to the studio, and the story goes that to pitch Aliens, the sequel, to them, he just wrote the word alien on probably a chalkboard back then. They probably didn't have write and white. Wrote alien on it and then wrote an S. And they're like, oh. And then he just made that S into a $sign. And that was his pitch. And they were just like, okay, make it. So his head, he's never been able to walk through any door with how big his head
Do
is.
people just bow down to him? And
Apparently.
Yeah, it seems like everything he's done has been gigantic money.
Big
So
money.
He's
It
got
really is.
no reason to not believe that if he touches it, it's money.
Yeah.
Well, he's King Midas.
Yeah.
I mean, before Endgame, Avatar reigned as the highest grossing movie of all time. So it's not like he's boasting on things that aren't accurate.
No, he's standing on solid ground. Like, he's made oodles of money.
I am super excited to see how this one goes, though, because if
If it tanks, the breakdown will be legendary.
the flop is kind of what I would be excited to see.
It's almost going to start a groundswell of people betting against it. Like
That's the
buying the
thing, like,
shorting stocks.
I want to go watch it.
No, I'm not going to go see it.
I want to watch it, but I
out of
almost
spite.
don't
Yeah.
want to, just so I can say I contributed to the flop. But I want to watch your movie. Stop talking, James.
Yeah, that is a tough spot. To
If
be
this
in.
movie tanks, I will buy some confetti poppers and we're going to pop them in here.
I'm down to celebrate the flop because, Icarus is flying far too close to the sun at this point.
He's been by the sun for a long time.
That wax is durable. Titanium wings, Icarus. But if this flops, there's no way he's making a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, or a seventh.
No.
If this one flops.
No, I think even 3 is hinged upon this one's
Yeah.
success because it sounded like I can't remember where I heard it.
But what if it does?
Ayo.
What if
Like,
it
if
does?
it's- Legendary performance in the box office. Bring it on, bring it on.
What if it literally came out and the first group to go see it was like, no, not only is it good, it's great. And then the only way it's going to get legs is if word of mouth says, this is phenomenal. Go see it.
Yeah, first weekenders are going to be
Yes.
the ones that really sell.
And it is, and it does. And it literally surpasses Endgame to be the second highest grossing movie of all time. What kind of world would we live in? He could be president.
the man don't miss if that's the case. Like, because he's breaking records that are mostly his own records at that point.
Yeah. He's like the Tom Brady of the movie industry.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's gross.
That's why people bet against him, is because they don't like Tom Brady.
I'm super excited to talk about it, though.
Yeah. I want to see the flop.
I want to see the flop, too, just because I think that would be
And then
really
they'll make
funny.
a movie about this movie flopping.
Oh, my good.
They'll call it
They
the flop.
would. They would. Even if it's the biggest success, they would make a movie about that.
Yeah.
Who would play James Cameron?
Tom Brady. He'll be acting soon anyways.
Oh,
Just get Tom
gosh.
Brady to do it.
Another thing I want to roll out, we kind of talked about it. Every now and then we're going to find some celebrity comments and just comment on the comments.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
There's going to be a lot, I'm sure. It was a little bit harder to find some comments than I thought it was. So
No,
I
I
just
meant Leonardo DiCaprio should play James Cameron.
Oh.
Sorry, I was still.
What do you call the movie?
Well, if the movie flops, call it the flop.
It just seems too unimaginative, though.
It doesn't have to be.
It has to be water related. James Cameron is the water man.
Yeah, you'd almost have to be something like the one that
The
sank
belly flop.
Water world.
the unsinkable ship, and
Yeah, it'd
just
have to
make
be
a pun
something.
off of the Titanic about his falling legacy.
Yes.
Anyways,
I'm down. I'm just so baffled by this movie.
It's gonna be a spectacle, and it comes out soon, don't it?
Close to Christmas, I think, yeah.
Yes, within
Yeah, before the end of the year.
Weeks.
That's exciting. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is good content, guys, to talk about. So for I know we just talked about some of these comments, but the next segment that we're going to start doing more often is finding celebrities' comments and just comment on those people's comments.
Yeah.
So comments. But Jim Carrey said he's officially leaving Twitter because of the neo-Nazi who is in charge of it now. Elon. Good on you, Elon. I'm on Twitter. Twitter hasn't changed at all since he's taken over. So I don't know what everybody's complaining about.
Like 90% of the workforce, and it's still the same.
Because they didn't do anything.
Exactly.
They were useless. Okay. But Jim Carrey said he's leaving Twitter, and he left it with a short animated film. Did you see any of this? Are you on Twitter?
I have it, but I don't get on it.
You should. Elon's in charge now. So
care.
it's a short, and it's called like The Naked Lighthouse Keeper, but it's like paint animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's real flat. It's just flat. And it's just like lights are dancing and there's just like this naked guy and he's not like completely naked. You can't see him from the waist down, and it's based off a poem that Jim Carrey did or something. And then they put animation to it. And it's just the naked lighthouse keeper calling in angels to protect them or something.
Okay.
And so he's like, I'm leaving Twitter, but this is what I'm leaving you with. But what was weird is it wasn't like a Jim Carrey jab.
Okay.
Because ever since he's been on Twitter, all he's been doing is putting out his art. That's what he does now. Ever since he's kind of gotten really philosophical in his thinking. He's crazy these days. So he's using it as a platform to just show people his artwork.
Right.
But now he's leaving. So he's saying, I'm leaving this terrible, terrible site. Again, not a terrible site. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. And you would think it'd be like a jab at conservatism or these right-wing anything. But it's really just one more piece of his artwork. That is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, that's a strange concept for a little piece of art in general. Mm-hmm. But as your exit thing,
Yeah.
that's weird.
It's just, you'd think it'd be more.
So he's not deleting his account. He's just not going to get on there anymore.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what they mean when they're like, I'm leaving Twitter. I guess you're either deleting your account or you're just never going
You're
back.
really not doing anything. If the account's still there, it shows, I think, right? So you're still...
Yeah, it
it's
says
still
something to the effect of this account has been deleted.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't remove it, then...
I just don't know what it matters. So now he joins the ranks of other people who have left, like Stephen Fry, Whoopi Goldberg, Moby. These are the people that you're like getting in line with to be like, yeah, none of you have been relevant for years. Years. And you're like, wow, we're going to stick it to him. Who? Whoopi, who?
Whoopee.
Whoopee!
Yeah, there's really nothing redemptive for them career-wise right now.
No.
No. But they think that their
Trying to get a
voices,
tiny bit of the spotlight.
they think their voices matter. And I'm sorry to tell you guys, it doesn't matter any more than ours do. I guess we're putting ours out there too, so
They
they
just got a bigger microphone.
But
Or
we at
bigger
least
audience.
understand that our voice really doesn't matter.
No.
We're not trying to act like we're something.
Well, that's
special.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
We know what we are. We're just trying to do what we can.
I just I can't wrap my head around this thing of like Twitter's changed it all, you know,
Yeah.
which is it's a small picture of kind of how America's still operating. Like, you're not really doing that much. I don't know. Any other thoughts? Politically,
No, it's just stupid.
spiritually, Jim Carrey's crazy. That's a fact.
Yeah, he is. Still a good actor, though.
Yeah, which is interesting because he's really able to still hone his character for like the Sonic movies, which are very recent. But in his personal life, he's off the rails. Granted, I know he's had a lot of suffering as well. Like his girlfriend a number of years ago, I think she committed suicide. And it really, I think that was the first thing that just like messed him up, and he started getting into all sorts of universalism. But so, Moby.
He's a recording artist.
Recording artist?
Like he's
You don't know who Moby is?
No.
Yeah, he's a musician
Yeah.
to some extent. I've never listened.
He's
to
like
his
a
stuff.
producer.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Pop world, alternative.
Hip hop
Indie.
stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
He's the white whale.
Yeah, I have not heard anything. that I
Wow.
remember.
I kept looking at you because I would assume you know who I'm talking about with Moby.
I know. When he looked confused, I was like, what?
What about Whoopi Goldberg?
I know who would be.
Sister Act 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Little Rascals, man.
What's the one she did with Ray Liotta? She was a good actress too. I had nothing against
The one
Whoopi
she did
until she
with
started talking
Ray
politics.
Liotta.
Corinna? Is that what it's called? Corinna?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's,
Hakuna Matata?
Corona.
no, I think it's Corinna. I could be pronouncing that incorrectly. It was in the 90s.
Oh.
But yeah, sad to see you go.
Not really.
Nope. Whatever. Twitter's never been that big of a thing anyway. Even back when it was owned by whatever the other guy's name was.
Dorsey.
Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey.
Jack.
Dorsey. Yeah. That hipster.
He's something. Anyways, I got nothing else. Oh, well, what else you been watching?
Been watching the Santa Claus series.
Are you up to date with it?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the newest one.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
It's okay.
It's fine.
It's whatever, you know. My biggest thing that I hate about the whole show so far,
Okay.
I cannot stand that one elf. His like best friend elf. He annoys me.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something about the way he just sounds whiny, and it's just like, I'm like, dude.
All the elves, they really struggle with the elves
Yeah.
recently, which sucks
Yeah.
because, you know, they're kind of just cliches as opposed to characters, you know. That first Santa Claus movie, there's some good elves in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, what was the elf that like gave him the cocoa and stuff? What was her name? Start with a K. It was the same name as the woman at the Denny's.
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah.
Judy. You know, like Judy, and then you had
Barabbas. Bernard.
Bernard Barabbas. But ever since then, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It has a feeling of like a Santa Claus 3.
Yeah. It's very childish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I feel like they had a lot of room to like explain in a funny way a lot of the things from the first movie. There were questions. So like when the Santa Claus fell off the roof and died and he had a Mrs. Claus, what happened to her?
Yeah.
You know, because the Mrs. Claus in this show is asking that question. And instead of explaining it and making it a funny moment, they're just like, we can't tell you that. Well, why bring it up? Why'd you even...
I think like when the Santa from the previous one, when they die or something like that, I think the elves just kill the Mrs. Claus. I think it's like ritual, like they have to kill her.
Well, I'm assuming they just like pixie dust her and she goes back to the real world and forgets it ever happened.
Just take her to the glue factory.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of room to kind of expand on the lore, and instead of expanding on the lore, you're just like, we can't tell you. That's top secret elf stuff. And we're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like the one scene, the elves like drinking maple syrup, and they're like, we see you drinking that maple syrup, and it's supposed to be like a play on like he's drinking at work, and it's just like, but that's funny. Like,
Yeah.
Finished the Mighty Ducks series or season 2 ended this past week. It was okay. It was good.
the Mighty Ducks stuff.
Yeah.
We watched the Wednesday series, which is the Addams Family series on Netflix. We watched that.
Nice.
Really good.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say some good things about it.
Really good. I've never watched anything else Addams Family related, like the movie from the 90s or none of that. Didn't care, just not my cup of tea. It's really like self-deprecating, dark comedy. The show in and of itself is really like a murder mystery.
Okay.
And she's trying to find out, like, there's a creature. So in the school that she goes to, there's vampires, there's werewolves, there's all these different types of creatures. But one creature is killing off a bunch of students and teachers. And so she's like just trying to figure out who it is the whole time.
Right.
And it's a really well done story on just the murder mystery element of it.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm really digging this. And then you had the humor in there as well, which was well placed at times. And I thought it was really good. That, and we also started watching, you'll be happy to know, we started watching Yellowstone.
Oh, yes.
We did.
Well,
we're only like 2 or 3 episodes in.
Yeah. Get the first 2 or 3 episodes. There is a lot of nudity in it. Once you get past,
there's unfortunate. It's just like, why?
Yeah, it's like, why? Yeah. But
I know why.
Well,
But
once you get past that, like I would say season 1 for sure. Once you get past it, it's like, no, hardly anything after that. But
my biggest takeaway from the whole show, and it's like set in Montana or something, obviously. And I was like, they're the mafia.
yeah, it's
He's
like,
just he's the Don, like
yeah,
whatever the head mafia guy's called.
Don.
Okay, there you go. Whatever he says goes.
Yeah.
And then there's a one point where they're like fighting with the Native Americans on the reservation. And I'm like, they're about to just kill each other. And everybody's cool with this.
It's middle of nowhere. It's Hill's Laws out there.
There's just the one son is just driving with his wife in the truck, and they pass a trailer, just a house, a trailer, and it blows up as they're passing it. And the main guy's like, well, there goes another meth house, which is very accurate. I mean, especially on reservations, they're huge into like heroin and meth and stuff. But that's nothing compared to what he does next, because he's like, all right, I'm going to go see if anybody's still alive, because he's a good guy. He's one of the characters. He's like, okay, he's a good one. He finds this guy just like burnt up from the explosion. And he just gets his gun and he just kills him. It's just like, dang. He just puts him out of his misery.
Roadkill. Like it's an animal that got hit on the side of the road. I'll shoot it.
And granted, like you could tell the guy wasn't going to live, so he did it. And it's just like, okay, he did him a favor, kind of thing.
Expedited the inevitable.
But it's like, dang.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Have they taken anyone to the train station yet?
No.
No.
I'm surprised at how political it is, though. I was surprised with like the undertones of the Native American element. And they're just like, they took all of our stuff and we want our stuff back. And it's just like, all right, guys, we get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that with them. And if I had to argue that anybody deserves reparations, it would be the Native Americans.
I mean, I guess
if you're gonna give
they also have a multi-million-dollar casino that they're not investing back into their people.
That's true.
That's on them.
And free college too, right?
Yeah.
So,
but they can't drink. So,
anyways,
free college, drinking. It's a hard bargain.
It's a decent show. It's fine so far. I don't think I watched anything else.
I got nothing else.
I want to say there was a movie I watched, but I don't remember what it was. Oh well.
All right.
You want to end it?
Yeah. All right. If you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. Head over to Instagram. You can follow me at JZOGood. Jesse Keene over here at Popcorn and Coffee. Colin on the desk. He is at Colin BG Gursky at Instagram. So on Instagram.
Anything else?
Nope.
That's all for today, guys. Thanks.
Bye.